Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we're back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and whether it will end up generating the best trilogy within the MCU. Now there might be spoilers for all movies and television series within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so just beware when going into this overall video. Now, as most of you already know, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will probably be the last adventure of the group of bounty hunters that we saw from 2014, and it will also be the second entry of Marvel's Phase 5. It will see all of the main actors return in their roles, from the likes of Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Batistua, Gillian and Bradley Cooper. The movie itself is set for release sometime in May 2023. Now, when looking back at the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie really was a significant turning point within the MCU. It really was the first major risk by Marvel ever since the first Iron Man movie and also the first Avengers films. A group of misfit space bounty hunters who were barely known by hardcore comic book fans, let alone mainstream audiences. With its outlandish characters and wacky comedic tone with a cosmic space universe, it certainly seemed that this would be a step too far for Marvel's great run into Phase 2. But the first movie in 2014 defied all expectations, grossing over $770 million worldwide, transforming the Guardians into instant household names. Volume 2 reached an even greater success, grossing over $850 million worldwide, and the Guardians would go on to appear further in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, as well as Thor Love and Thunder from this year. And overall, I think the Guardians movies are very fun, light-hearted and entertaining adventures. The first film especially got that balance really well between comedy and characterization, and it still remains amongst the MCU's best movies. The sequel, while still fun, was a bit more bloated and overindulgent, but the ending in terms of Yondu's space funeral was handled very well. So when we look at the trailer for Volume 3, which recently dropped online, and yes, it's still definitely a Guardians movie. We still get all of the bright colours, the snappy banter and camaraderie of a dysfunctional family. We get the usual sparkling effects and retro soundtrack. It's just everything we'd expect to see from a Guardians movie without showing anything really surprising. Perhaps the most significant moment was seeing Will Poulter appear as Adam Warlock, and when you consider of how important of a character he was in the Infinity Gauntlet comic book storyline, you do kind of feel that Marvel have undersold him a bit in terms of the integration into the movies by not having him in Infinity War, warning the other heroes of the emergence of Thanos. If you remember, at the end credits of Volume 2, we saw him being created by the Sovereign Group. And I do believe that the story here will be of how Adam Warlock is sent in to hunt down the Guardians. So he'll probably start off as the villain for the first half of the story before joining forces with the Guardians and becoming a permanent member of the team going forward. We'll also wonder how they'll integrate Gamora with the rest of the team. If you remember, she initially met her death at the hands of Thanos when attaining the Soul Stone in Infinity War in one of the movie's most impactful scenes. But in Endgame, we saw a younger version of her returning in one of the many effects of the constant time travel. So no doubt this will spark off again the romance between both her and Star-Lord, but once again it's great to see Zoe Saldana looking very good in the role. It also looks like we'll get some insight into Rocket's origin. There were some clips where we see it looks like a flashback of when he was younger. Now this is something that's already been referred to in the first Guardians movie and also Infinity War. So considering that this will be likely the last installment, there will probably be some heavy emotional impact and weight as they want to make sure that this is a worthwhile conclusion for the team's adventures. So after watching all of the trailer, do we believe that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will cap off the best trilogy within the MCU? At this stage, I'm going to say no, as for me, the best trilogy of the MCU belongs to the Captain America movies, especially with both Winter Soldier and Civil War, which for me is really the peak in terms of the MCU, and I don't think the Guardians films are quite at the level of those movies. And whilst I expect Guardians 3 to be entertaining, I can't see it reaching the same levels of quality of those previous installments. Now in terms of comparisons, in terms of other trilogies, I think the Iron Man movies actually got worse after the first one. I do think that the Homecoming trilogy of Tom Holland's Spider-Man was very solid. We will of course get the completion of another trilogy with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania next year. And whilst the Ant-Man films again have been solid and entertaining, I wouldn't put them alongside the true greatness in terms of the MCU. And of course, this will be James Gunn's last involvement with both the Guardians of the Galaxy and also the MCU, now that he's fully taken over as the head of DC. Now, of course, both fans of Marvel and especially DC will try to draw several comparisons and draw up some sort of debate now that James Gunn is fully involved in DC, but you do have to remember that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was already planned and completed whilst James Gunn was fully involved with Marvel, so I don't really see any type of antagonism or competitiveness between James Gunn directing this and also going forward being the head of DC. And regardless of that, I'm pretty much sure that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will prove to be another successful hit for the MCU, but I don't overall believe that it will cap off the best trilogy within the current universe. So there's my overall thoughts and feelings on the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and its recent trailer. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think it will be the best installment of the franchise? Do you think it will cap off the best trilogy of the MCU, or do you think that there are other trilogies that are far more higher in quality than the Guardians of the Galaxy? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as usual, when the film arrives, I will provide both reviews and also reports on the box office performance and any legacy that the film leaves after that. And if you have also any other topics in terms of movies, television, series, or any other subject matter that you'd like to see me cover on the channel, then also let me know within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary on you on that subject matter in the future. Please also hit and like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.